How do I use a fire list? Hey, Mr. Bingaman, what are you doing?
I don't know. I know I'm supposed to be doing something, but I'm just kind of lost. I don't know what am I supposed to be doing?
Well, why don't you just look at the fire list to know what to do next?
Fire. I like the way you think.
Is he thinking? No way. Your desk is on fire. Did you know that?
Yeah. You want a marshmallow?
No, I said to follow the fire list. The fire list tells you what to do. There's a section for focus, inquire, reflect, and extend.
Oh.
So why would we choose to do fire list as our learning model? Well, the benefits of a fire list include learning at your own pace. If you're a student who tends to work really fast, you don't have to wait for everybody to catch up to you. Or if you're a student who needs to take more time on assignments, you don't have that pressure to hurry, and then you don't actually learn the material because you're in a rush and everyone else is moving on. Another benefit of fire list is you get to manage your own class time. I think it's a great thing for students to be able to come in, set your own goals for the day, and then get to work, rather than have the teacher dictate what you're doing and when you're doing it. Thirdly, another benefit of fire list learning is mastery of material. You learn at your own pace. The goal is not about checking off everything on the list. The goal is to make sure that you learn all the material. Sometimes you need to go back and try an activity again to make sure that you understood and learned the content. Sometimes you learn it the first time and then you're able to move on. What matters is, either way, you were able to learn and master the content. Lastly, one other benefit of the fire list is it mirrors the real world. The real world doesn't function where one person tells everybody what they're going to do that day and then everybody does it together at the same amount of time with variable results. Rather, you have a goal set in mind and people might do it at different paces or finish it at different times, but what's important is that you fulfill that goal, and it's a little bit more realistic about how things work in the real world.
This is not very much like a traditional classroom. In a traditional classroom, the teacher's at the front of the room and they're delivering all their information to the students directly. That turns my role as a teacher into that of being merely a lecturer, and you, as the students, the role of just being the audience. Instead, what we have here is a situation where I, as a teacher, am just guiding people from the sides, moving around, helping people when they need help, and you are also helping each other through the process. That turns me into a coach and you into learners, and that's the place we want to be. Additionally, it's important to understand that not everybody will be on the same assignment at the same time, and that's okay. We can still help each other out. People that have already done an assignment can help guide the people that are still working on the previous one.
All right, let's get started on how to do a fire list. First, you need to find the fire list in the appropriate lesson folder. It is usually the first item listed. When you open up that link, it's going to make you a copy of the Google Doc that's yours to mark up as needed. The top of a fire list will say the main question and the start and the end dates of the assignment. So, FIRE is an acronym for focus, inquire, reflect, and extend. And they're color-coded. First, you begin in the focus section, which is red. The focus section may entail doing a reading out of Carolina Science or a brain-building broadcast or other activity to build the foundation for the lesson. In this case, the first item in the focus section says to do the Getting Started question in Investigation 1.1 to 1.6, and it's in Schoology. So I would go back to Schoology, and I would open up Investigation 1.1 to 1.6, and then I would complete the Getting Started question. After I complete the Getting Started question, I would go back to my fire list, and I can mark an X there to demonstrate that I have completed that portion of the fire list. Then I will move on to the next section. This is a building your knowledge question in Carolina Science. So you would do that reading by logging into Carolina Science and then opening up the questions in Schoology. Keep in mind that answering the questions and hitting submit is not the assignment. You need to answer the questions and make sure that they're all correct and that you have mastered the content. Now, in Carolina Science, a friendly reminder is you can't read the text when it's this small, and you could adjust it by clicking the upper right-hand corner and this icon to change it into one page and to zoom in as needed. Now, as you move on in the fire list, you move on to the yellow inquire section, which is usually some type of a hands-on activity or lab investigation. Then you would do the reflect section, which is where you look back on a lesson and think about what you have learned and do a little bit of review. It could be a Pear Deck, it could be a Kahoot, it could be answering some questions. And when you feel prepared and you are ready for your assessment for that lesson, you would go ahead and take the lesson quiz on Schoology. Now, if you happen to be done before the end date of the fire list, you would move on to E, extend. And this involves additional labs, activities, sometimes videos to extend your knowledge on that particular topic.
Let's talk about how to be successful using these fire checklists. Mrs. Ostrowski and I definitely want you to have a successful year in science class. First, make sure that you're doing the items in the checklist in order. Work your way from the top of the list to the bottom in the order that the assignments are given without skipping around or missing any assignments. Secondly, we want to make sure that you master one assignment before you move on to the next. Many of these assignments are set up so that you can have multiple tries to get the right answers. Remember that the assignment is not to just get the answers filled in, but to find the right answers. So keep working on them until you found the right answers. The third thing we want you to remember is that use your class time well and be productive during the entire class time. You've got 40 minutes a day. If you use that time well, you really should never have to work homework after school or come in after school to do things if you're using your in-class time well every day. Make sure you're mindful of your time, use it well, and watch the end dates. Make sure that you can get all the way through at least to the reflection part of the fire checklist before the end date that we've given you for it so that you can have all the graded materials in the gradebook. The most important thing to remember to be successful with this fire checklist is talk to your teacher. Make sure that you communicate to us if you need anything, if you're confused about what to do. Use us. Our goal is to be there to coach you through each of the steps if you need us. So communicate to us when you need more time, need more supplies, or need something explained to you. This fire idea was a great idea. I feel so much better.
Actually, the marshmallows weren't a bad idea after all.